The one thing about the Philippines is it's rice. Morning, noon, and night. They eat rice 3 meals a day, and sometimes in between. In fact, if you talk to a number of Filipinos, they will say that they cannot survive without rice at least twice a day. They do not believe you can live without rice twice a day. I did prove them wrong. I had a companion that admitted that he did not believe it at first, but he admitted that he'd been living off of peanut butter sandwiches and hot dogs and other stuff for a period of time, and he was doing just fine. So he was reassuring the locals that you can live without rice. But it's their staple. It's rice and then something to put on top of it. Some of my favorites were fried chicken. They make really good fried chicken over there. Lechon manok, which is a rotisserie chicken that is stuffed with herbs and spices, and it's slow roasted, and that is really good as well. Machado, afritada, caldereta are some toppings that have vegetables and kind of a tomato sauce, and their name indicates the level of heat. Caldereta is spicy, Machado and afritada are not as much, so it's kind of graduated that way. Those were really good. My first Christmas there in Bacolod City, they ordered some toppings from a nice hotel for us missionaries for the ward Christmas party, and I tasted one of them, and it tasted just like Dinty Moore beef stew. And I have to tell you, I didn't eat rice with that one. I was down in just the topping. It was so good. But yeah, the food's really not that bad overall. There are some weird things. Balut is kind of one of their delicacies. It's a duck egg that's been incubated for about 18 days. The chick is fully formed. They hard boil it, kills the chick. You crack it open, you drink the juice out, you open it up and eat the chick fully formed with beak, feathers, feet, the whole 9 yards. You just chomp it and swallow it, or in my case, just swallow it. And then there's the leftover of the yolk, which looks like a yellow brain with veins running through it. That I couldn't bring myself to eat. So that's about as weird as it gets, although the sea snail stew was the worst thing I ever tasted. That was really bad. But fish, there's a huge variety of fish, really good fish. I had some that were as thick as a steak. They were, really good. They know how to season and cook things. Vegetables are kind of rare. They use papaya, young papaya, instead of carrots. It gives it a carroty crunch and flavor, and they'll use the leaves off of trees. Not a lot of tomatoes, although you can find them. Not a lot of potatoes, although you can find them. I never saw beans of any sort. Kind of missed it. I'm a fan of Mexican food, so it was kind of hard to live without beans. And I was thinking beans and rice would be great. These people need to learn about beans and rice. But yeah, it was hard to find Mexican food. I did find one place that served tacos, and they were absolutely fantastic, and then they stopped serving them. But the food was really good. I enjoyed it. The roadside stands could be a little dicey. You might get sick from them, you might not. I tried to make sure that everything I got was very well cooked. I did eat a hamburger one time, or one bite of a hamburger that was only partially cooked. Got into it and realized it wasn't fully cooked, so I didn't finish that one. My companion volunteered to finish it. I got sick, he didn't, so go figure on that one. They do have supermarkets in the bigger cities. Bacolod City had a store. It was more like a mall called Robinson's, and they had a nice grocery store with a imported food section. In fact, I found Norbest turkeys from Utah around Christmas time. I was able to get pastrami. You could get yogurt. Milk is really hard to come by. You don't find fresh milk anywhere. It's only the ultra high pasteurized boxed 20-year shelf life. They make a lot of bread. It's all sweet. Sugar is one of their main exports, so everything is highly sweetened. Their peanut butter, but you can get imported food of just about any variety from the States. It's kind of a big thing for them. It's a status symbol for those who have money. They eat American food, and that's a status symbol. So we enjoyed that as much as we could on our meager budgets. But a lot of local fare. There's what they call chungies in my mission. It was a small store that would just be in somebody's yard. They were scattered throughout each of the neighborhoods where they would sell. It was kind of like a convenience store. They'd sell small packages of shampoo and soap and canned goods. They have a lot of canned tuna toppings to put on the rice, Spam, things like that. Soda pop. Everybody had a refrigerator in their little store that they would sell soda. Sprite. Orange, their orange was called Royale. It's not Crush or anything like that, even though it's made by the Coca-Cola company. It's different than what we have here in the States. You could get Coke, but you couldn't get root beer. There was no root beer except in the higher end restaurants. The only one I ever found had root beer was Pizza Hut. So we would order a mug or a jug of root beer and savor it. So, but yeah, you could get pretty much anything if you had the money.